I know there are some issues regarding flexible learning, without internet connection. We still also believe, that our book can cater to those kinds of needs. All right. There are learning management systems that are fit for offline mode or for internet connection. So most common are from Google. If you will see, if you will examine, or if your teachers will be able to really test, these things. Google Drive can operate without internet. Google Docs also can operate without internet. Google Sheets can also operate without internet, and Google Slides can work, without internet. Syempre, at the first instance, kailangan may internet ka muna. Pero after that, you can put it off and you can utilize this for slide for apps, in case of absence or poor internet connection, uh, in the part of the teacher and also on the part of the student. So maybe the teachers and students will be able to somehow study on how this four will work for the proper, discussion and proper utilization of our course module. But upon testing, na-test ko na po yan, okay naman po, pwede po nang walang online. Second, yung pong ginagamit po natin na Zoom, they have the speech to text features, no. So ano ba 'yan, no? The teacher, kung hindi siya talaga siya makapag-upload, pwede po niyang i-dictate, yung kanyang lecture, and will be uploaded, it will be reduced into text, and the text will be given to the student. So here hindi po kailangan ng offline. So perhaps, the teachers and the students will be, we can test this, but ang kaya po yan ay yung Google Docs and Zoom. So hindi na po, kung hindi po sakaling magkaroon ng video or video conference in the form of lesson management, pwede po ito speech to text. Of course, the text needs to be printed and to be distributed to the students. Yun po yung mangyayari. But it addresses, yung absence or poor internet connection that is possible, especially in these kinds of times. And needless to say that because our book also is complete with the proper tools for discussion, this can be easily done. The teacher can just read and add some points based on the PowerPoint with the course module on the side to be able to properly utilize this even in an offline manner. Okay. So before the internet days, I think we have our own recorders, no. So if there's really no option, if there's really no internet connection, uh, we can use the old school USBs, di ba? The DVDs, video and audio recorder. So as what I mentioned, our book is fit, or our book is ready for discussions, or it's complete, for the teacher to be able to discuss the lesson uh, thoroughly. So that the teacher can just record himself or herself using the old school USB or DVD, if possible, video and audio recorders to be shared to the students. Ganun po talaga, no? But despite the absence of the internet connection, we can say that learning can still happen, through the use of these materials. And lastly, wala po talagang choice. Di pala, fourth pa lang po pala na nagkamali. Provision of hard copies, of discussion handout. So from the PowerPoint that we are giving and utilizing the course module, I think handouts can be given, and notes on how to perform the activities can be had. And if the teacher would opt to still create documents or make documents relevant to the lesson, mag-resort po sa hard copy. All right. So again, like what I exhaustively discussed a while ago, our module per lesson is complete and fit for discussion in any form. So hard copies can be done. I don't know if the PowerPoint will be able to maging handout, but siguro the teacher can find a way on how to make this available materials fit for hard copy distribution. And next, is communication. So, meron pa naman pong cellphone, meron pa naman pong landline. So, I think proper communication is the key. So, ang akin lang, in this specific subject, there must be proper communication. because nga standalone, our course module is already ready with minimal supervision. But I think the communication from the learner, from the teacher to the learner is still vital and integral for this subject to be for this module to be properly delivered. So yun po ang aking maia-advise, no, based on on tinkering of this apps that can be utilized and in relation to the course module that we are delivering today. So with this, I would like to end our discussion. Maraming salamat po sa pakikinig. It's indeed an honor and privilege to discuss this course module despite in the comforts of our homes and reaching Region 11. So thank you for this opportunity to CHEDRO, Region 11. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Attorney Berarta.
meron pa po pala akong take away. Just
Okay.
remember, no, ginawan lang po namin ng keywords to gender to say that our book is ready for flexible learning. Sorry po, sir, ha? Na-excite po ako kaagad.
Okay lang
But
po.
anyway, so the learning goals for G will not be compromised and will still be achieved because our book, as it is, and with the use of learning tools that were mentioned a while ago, whether offline and online, the goals will be achieved. You know? In fact, the experiences of the learner will be enhanced. You know? Network will also be improved. Distance will be negated and in fact will be abrogated, no, because with proper communication I think this will be not an issue, no. Effective, so again, no, our book is effective, our course module is effective apart from the materials that come along with it, then aside from what I lectured a while ago. And finally, no, we can say that our course module is responsive to the needs of time, responsive to the needs of the learners, and responsive to the needs of the educators and the institution. So with that, I would just like to reiterate my gratitude to all of you for listening today. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
Okay, so thank you very much, Attorney Peralta, as well as Dr. Arlauti. We have questions here in particular.
Sige po.
For purposes of discussion, I'll just be reading this. As mentioned by Dr. Pawilin, according to one attendee, the assessment should answer the learning outcomes. I noticed in your instructional plan, it does not highlight the learning outcomes necessary for the delivery of an outcomes-based education. Can you mention some example, please?
Okay. Of course, for this presentation, we just chose yun pong kapirasong portion lang po ng aming lesson plan. Of course, at the top of that instructional plan, there appears a slot for course outcomes, no. And I have no copy of that, but yun lang po kasi. But there are the course title is there, the course outcomes are present there in the upper part kasi ganun po yung instructional plan that was sent to us by Rex. Doon lang po sa pinresent ko kasi hindi lang po siya kita kasi kailangan ko po siyang i-screenshot para po ma-present po ng tama sa inyo. But just to say, my response to that is that the course outcomes are all provided. No? Unfortunately, I was just able to screenshot also that portion, and I apologize for that. But just the same, no, the course outcomes are present. It's not absent. And yun nga po, hindi lang po namin naisama. As much as I would like provide an example, wala lang po akong kopya ngayon dito. Alright, but it's there. It's there po.
Attorney, can I
Yes, sir.
just interject? Oo. Yung course outcomes po natin, tama po kayo, meron po yan siya. It's our syllabus. If they adopt our title, they would be given our sample syllabus, doon nila makikita lahat ng learning outcome.
Pasensya na po kasi kailangan ko lang if it's sa screen yung kasya kaya doon lang po yung aming pagkakakat.
Okay lang po. We will provide them pag ma-adapt nila yung title natin, yung module.
Sige po for that question. Dr. Cesar, hindi ko po makita yung Q&A kasi po Papa. I cannot access the Q&A.
I think attorney yung access. One question here was how can you access the without computer, no?
Okay.
So definitely ho, mukhang synchronous and as actually what we did here is synchronous and asynchronous. That's what we recommend po here. No? So definitely as what actually Attorney Eric has provided us with the summary of the slide, yung pinaka nagagamit natin, which is the Google system, educational system. So once that they had access, na download naman po nila, they can readily access, even if without internet connection, the slides that you have uploaded in the Google Drive. Ano po? So furthermore, baka Attorney Eric can highlight that further.
Okay. Ito ba yung sa walang laptop, Doc? Sorry, ay
Oo,
naghang po yung...
attorney. Oo.
Alright.
Yes.
So,
yung walang
again,
laptop daw
like
po.
what I mentioned a while ago, no, we can utilize the old school distribution of hard copies, no, and I think it will just have the same effect whether you have a internet or not. We can use the discussion materials, and from which the professor or teacher can formulate handouts, and these handouts can be given to students. So with or without internet connection, the integrity of the lesson will still be
Attorney,
covered. Yes, sir.
here's another question.
Apa.
Here's another question for purposes of discussion only.
Apa.
How can we objectively agree on matters between gender and sexuality? Like an example is how J.K. Rowling made a comment that transgender women are not women.
Okay.
Where do we stand?
Sige po, let me answer that if you will allow me po. All right. So, well, the reason why we first presented about the laws, no, is because yun ang sinasabi ng batas eh. All right. So, no matter what gender this person can be, even in purposes of discussion, we just stick by what the law provides. And the international mandates provides that all humans shall be afforded their rights regardless of their gender. So doon po tayo sa mandato ng international mandates and national mandates. So the stand here is what will the law. Ako as a lawyer also and as a practitioner, no, and looking on the political legal perspective in this course module, we must just abide with what the law says to us. So regardless of the point of, for example, J.K. Rowling, whether transgender women aren't women, what the law provides is that we respect the gender of everyone. We afford the same rights to everyone regardless of their gender. So yun po siguro ang perfect stand po para po sa atin. Para po safe din po tayo. Kasi 'di ba, sabi ng mandates ganyan, sabi ng national policies ganyan, may mandate pa nga ang CHED na dapat ay mainstream ang gender. So bakit kaya? It's because it is provided for by policies and institutions. Yun po yan.
Okay, thank you very much, Attorney Peralta.
Welcome po. Thank you for that question.
Any parting words you would like to tell to the faculty members who would really want to participate actively on flexible learning and having difficulty because of limitations?
Doc, ikaw na muna, Doc.
Sige. So, lahat naman po tayo ay under crisis right now, no? So, I be as a healthcare provider, as a friend, as a family member, we just have to una let's try to keep our mindfulness, in these times of pandemic. So even if we are faced with a new normal, let's keep an open mind, be mindful of what we are experiencing right now. If we're afraid, okay, acknowledge that we are afraid. If we are kind of anxious with what's with the new system, okay, it's okay. It's okay to say to ourselves that it's okay. Kasi hindi naman natin talaga alam lahat yan. Kaya nga po, meron tayong mga assistants. We are here for you in terms of gender and society. Our REX partners are here with us in terms of creating modular packs for you and kits for you. Being mindful also creates that sound mind heart, so that we'd be able to create to to see the perspective way beyond us. No? Matatapos din po ito. So we have just to adapt. No, having said that, matatapos ito, with this new normal, this opens a huge, opportunity for us to reach out way beyond the classroom setting. So if we are, say for example, with these tools that we gave you, um, strengthening and empowering not just as being teachers to your students, but more of confidence, confidence processing this information, making them more aware that you are there for them. Somehow appeases, it would appease the learner as well. So wag ho nating iparamdam sa kanila na meron tayong takot, It's okay to admit it, pero we have to go beyond that. So being mindful, eating the right kinds of foods, exercising, please don't forget to socialize. Socialize responsibly, maintaining physical distance. Ano pa? So eating the right kind of food, I've mentioned that already. As a teacher, we need to be there for our students, not just for our families. So trying to, when we sit down in front of your students, in front of your computer, let's try to wear that hat of I'm a teacher right now. Despite I'm being a teacher, am also their mentor. I'm a human being. I am there for them. So I hope that with those parting words, I am somehow able to come across that this is rather a challenge for us, but we can do this together. So that's why we're here. We're here to assist you and help you as well. So maraming salamat po for this opportunity. Thank you po, Dr. Cesar.
Okay, Dr. Cesar.
Thank you, Dr. Log. That's so well thought advice. How about you, Attorney Peralta?
Dr. Cesar, before I do my parting words, I would just like to answer the two questions, the two last questions. Sayang naman po eh. All right, from
Okay, sige.
from Ma'am Ativo, no? The question was what book did you use for Lost Gender Society? I think the references, one of the key features of our lesson is that we provided the references there. So the activities can also be checked, in the references that were provided. So like what the example ko kanina, search in the internet a copy of RA 9262, it's also provided in the reference. So these kinds of copies are available regardless of the absence of internet connection. All right, for the next question, if the school will not require yes po, no. I think our book Gender Society is one of the recent additions in the Rex eStore. So upon clicking rexestore.com, you will see in tertiary and you will readily see our book there. So ibig sabihin, even though the institution will not adopt it, the teacher or the student can purchase the book with my parting words, no. I would just like to mention that this subject, this subject is actually timely despite the pandemic, no. In these kinds of times of pandemic and community quarantine, inclusivity must be given importance, no. Nakakalimutan po natin 'yan. For information, gender-based violence is rampant and is even magnified because of the current quarantine restrictions in the pandemic. So to avoid these things to happen, we must now, or as early as now, we must let our learners know about these things, because we believe that if we will be able to share these learnings and lessons and knowledge to our students, later on they will these kinds of issues on inclusion, gender inequality, gender inequity, gender-based violence against women, and also when whatsoever violations of the law will be prevented. And we can start with this course module. And that's why we're very happy that we were able to share this to you. Of course, maraming salamat po sa pakikinig, at hopefully we will be staying healthy, staying safe, and staying happy. So maraming salamat pong muli sa inyo lahat.
So once again, Attorney Peralta and Dr. Laude, thank you very much for those thoughts. We will forever cherish that. If you can only hear the clapping of hands, they are very thankful of your presentation, as well as the efforts of Rex Bookstore as well as you writers to present a very good approach in helping them achieve that quality education. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Okay po.
Salamat po.
Sa time na ito, to give us the closing remarks, we will be hearing from our Chief Education Program Specialist of CHED 11, Dr. Luis D. Perez.
Hey, good morning, sir. Actual,
Jumo, sir.
okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. No? Thank you very much, Dr. Adigi. Good morning po sa lahat. Maayong buntag sa tanan who are in the virtual room right now, and also to those who are watching via CHED 11 Facebook Live and YouTube. So once again, the CHED 11 has brought you another milestone as part of our commitment to provide continuous learning on flexible learning approach, as this will be our learning mode for the opening of school year 2020-2021. Hopefully, this flexible learning webinar on modular approach to teaching general education brings so much learnings and understandings to our faculty members, not just in Region 11, but also in some other regions who are teaching or who will be teaching general education courses and made themselves ready to implement flexible learning comes the opening of classes this August. The CHED webinar series number 8, however, will not be made possible, of course, without our strong collaboration in partnership with Rex Bookstore Incorporated. So, in behalf of the Commission on Higher Education, Regional Office 11, headed by our Regional Director, Dr. Maricar Casquejo, together with my colleagues, I would like to thank the Rex Bookstore team, headed by its president, Attorney Dominado Buhain, Mr. Ronald Eugenio, the regional manager from Mindanao, and to their authors of instructional materials and books, who are themselves our resource speakers in their webinar series, namely Dr. Greg Pawilin of UP Los Baños on modular approach to flexible learning, addressing the equity, quality, and relevance in higher education. Dr. Duna Marie Lim of St. Scholastica's College, Manila on teaching purposive communication and flexible learning system. Professor Eugene Raymond P. Crudo of UP Los Baños on teaching Rizal. Professor Esmeralda Manlulu of Manila Taylana College on teaching math in the modern world. Professor Albert Napoleon in Roldan of UP Diliman on teaching art appreciation. Professor Rafael Ferrer and Assistant Dean Jennifer Mariis Amparo, both of UP Los Baños on teaching the contemporary world. And Attorney Eric Paul Peralta and Dr. Terry Marie Laudi, also of both of UP Los Baños on teaching teaching gender and society. Once again, thank you to Rex Bookstores for partnering with us, and to our resource speakers for sharing your precious time and effort, sharing your knowledge and expertise in your respective fields. Our thousands of viewers have so much thanks to your presentation, and likewise express their profound gratitude to all of you. Indeed, many have asked copy of your presentation. However, our viewers can access the recorded videos of this webinar at youtube.com/CHED Regional Office 11, or it is better suggest to our viewers to visit also Rex Bookstores for the entire module of the same topics. Many have already signified interest of your module, so please visit Rex Bookstores near to your places. Our partnership with Bookstores is in line with our quest for more learning approaches with the end view of retooling the faculty in Region 11 and preparing them given the current significant development in adapting flexible learning in higher education to combat the effect of public health emergency. We find solution, as this is the tagline of CHED 11, so to speak. Likewise, this initiative is also in line with the efforts of our chair, Pupoy Di Vera, who is also reeling out CHED, Higher Education Bayanihan, a virtual and free cooperative learning environment for educational fora, training, capacity building, and resource sharing among HEIs in the country. So the CHED Higher Education Bayanihan is a digital community of educators, learners, and content makers that explore innovative responses in the context of Philippine higher education institution. Similarly, as early last month, you remember CHED launched the PHL CHED Connect to complement with the CHED Higher Education Bayanihan by providing online resources for the faculty, students, as they prepare for flexible learning for the opening of classes this August. Also along this line, the four issues is in Region 11 under the chairmanship of Commissioner Darilag is also rolling out Project Write, writing on resilience and innovation for teaching excellence in Region 11. So this project is led by the USEP, University of Southeastern Philippines, with the cooperation of CHEDRO 11 and in collaboration with Davao Oriental State College of Science and Technology, Davao del Norte State College, and Compostela Valley State College, in cooperation with the local colleges in Region 11, as well as the private higher education institution in Region 11. So the main objective is to develop course pack modules for faculty and students in the region as they prepare for flexible learning for the opening of classes this June. So evidently, we have so much work to be done, and we will only be able to address COVID-19 only if we all together educate and learn as one. So at this point, I would like to extend my thanks to CHEDRO, also to CHEDRO 11 team, headed by our Regional Director, Dr. Maricar Casquejo, who have full support of this undertaking. My colleagues, Dr. Christopher Pulido, Engineer Rod Pangantihan, and the rest of the supervisors. And of course, to our moderators, Dr. Cesar Adige and Mr. Neil Manglanlan, the product officer of Bricks Bookstores Incorporated. To all who join in the Zoom room and to those who are watching via CHEDRO 11 Facebook and YouTube Live, thank you very much for your active participation, and rest assured that CHEDRO 11 will continue to provide you with valuable webinars in the coming days to come. So please keep watching in our next webinar series. Thank you and keep safe po sa lahat.
Maraming salamat, Dr. Perez. Ladies and gentlemen, that ends our webinar. Thank you for participating. And I would like to remind all of you to answer the post-evaluation, which we are going to post now. You have 2 hours to do that.